Good morning mga katribo. Welcome to another episode of Daily Tribune Straight Talk, where we talk about important topics that matter to each of us. I am Gigie, Arcilla.
Good morning mga katribo. I'm Chito, Lozada. We are live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
Yes, this morning, Chito, we are honored
We have a special
we
guest.
have a very special guest. This is a very rare episode, Chito. So let's welcome His Excellency Marco Clemente, Italian Ambassador to the Philippines.
How are you, sir?
Very
Good
well,
morning.
thank you for having me.
Thank you for granting the invitation
My
to
pleasure.
be with us.
Thank you for.
Yes.
And this could be the last interview before you.
Yeah, I'm afraid
retiring.
I'm retiring mid-June. Yeah.
Yes. So the ambassador is going to end his tour of duty
Yeah.
in his career and in his diplomatic career, and of course because he's retiring by June. So I guess your birthday is June, Ambassador.
Yes, end of June. Yeah.
All right.
June.
Okay. So can we start off, Chito? We have very interesting questions to the ambassador. Okay. So what motivated you to be part of the diplomatic corps?
Well, certainly the interest of knowing foreign cultures, foreign people, foreign places, but in a way which is very peculiar to the diplomatic life, that is living in the country. I wouldn't be interested in doing a job making me travel extensively, for short period of times, because if I had liked that, I would have chosen other options. There are many jobs which are internationally oriented. But what I find very exciting and enriching and even challenging sometimes about the diplomatic life is that you live for some years in the country. So you are part of the country. So this gives you an insight which is unparalleled with respect to other jobs. And this is what I like. I wanted to live abroad.
To immerse.
To embrace everything and to be part of that culture or way of life. I had very different experience in my career, and I must say I've been in every continent. So I really, at the end of my 40-year life as a diplomat, I really have had the opportunity to collect information about how people live in Australia, in South America, in South Africa, in the Caucasus, in Northern Europe, and now the only continent which I had missed was Asia. And so I was lucky enough to be appointed in the best Asian country, especially for a European, which is the Philippines. But not only because you're close to us, but because you people are amazing, so welcoming. So we do feel at home here.
Is being a diplomat your, a childhood dream?
No, not at all. Actually, I studied 2 years as a medical doctor because my father was a doctor. And so when I was young and unaware, I had no other option in my mind, and nobody forced me. But at that age, you don't think that there is another life. I gave it for granted that being a son of a doctor, my life was already set for me. But then when I started the university, I realized that it wasn't the kind of job which really interested me, and I was ready for it. No, it was not. So I decided to change completely, and I started new course at university, and then after a few years I became a career diplomat.
And your first assignment abroad was
Australia. So very close to the Philippines. So I let's say, ended my tour of the world with you, because I started in Australia and then
Complete
after,
circle.
yeah, I completed the circle.
So it's going to be a very memorable for the ambassador, because Philippines is his last posting.
Yes, and definitely the best one we have got.
Okay.
And I speak on behalf of my family
Wow.
here also.
Might even consider living here.
Yes, actually, especially my son.
Ah,
But
yeah?
logistically it would be complicated to leave him behind, and because I have to move. But most importantly, my wife, she works in Rome. She's a public servant, so she's been with me because she had a special leave permission, being the wife of a diplomat. But when I end my career, she has got to go back. So my son is insisting to remain
Stay
here, but I
How,
say
how old is he?
16.
Is he studying?
Yes, yes, he's studying the ISM at the international school.
Might have found a love interest here. No?
Well, I strongly recommend that she found a Filipina, beautiful lady, or girl, better said. I understand that maybe something happened, and this could be the reason why also he wants to stay. But there are logistical problems for making it happen, and we are convincing him that. But he can
Come back.
keep all the bonds he has with the Philippines, and he can come back and maybe even studying at the Filipino university, who knows? But definitely he has to complete his high school term in Rome, and then he will decide what to do. But definitely the Philippines remain in all our hearts, that's for sure.
So that's
Thanks.
really a challenge for parents.
Thank you.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Ambassador, perhaps, Chito, go ahead.
Overall, how do you size up the relations between Italy and the Philippines?
I know that for a diplomat it sounds very normal to say that because it's a standard answer, but I do believe, and it's a fact, that they couldn't be better. Even if I make an effort, I cannot think of an irritant among us. There is nothing which, let's say, overshadows the good quality of our bilateral relationship. Politically, economically, culturally, people to people. I mean, they couldn't go better. And
They share the
we
same
had,
religion.
we share a lot of common things, religious values, the
values.
presence of almost 200,000 Filipinos in Italy. It's also a, sort of an evidence that they are part of the family. They are not only integrating very well, they are very well appreciated by the Italians.
That's
They are
200,000 Filipinos.
almost
now working
200,000. Yeah.
in Italy.
How old is the ties between
Well,
Italy and the Philippines?
formally, they are 77 now, 78 almost, because they were established in 47. They were the diplomatic relationship were established when Italy recognized the Philippines after independence. We celebrated in 2022 the 75th anniversary of our bilateral relationship, and so it's well established. We've had an embassy in Manila from the very beginning. We've had so also our presence here has been now almost 70 years old. So it's a very established and very good.
If there are more than 200 Filipinos in Italy,
Almost, maybe a little less. But you know, numbers are
200,000.
very difficult because some of them maybe they don't register
Yes,
in
they're
your
undocumented.
embassy. So, but
Uh-huh.
the official numbers is very close to 200,000.
all
yes,
right.
yes.
So, how many Italians are
Not
in the
many.
Philippines?
Not very many. No. I would say, I don't know, 70 families probably. most of them composed of Italian gentlemen married to
To
Filipinos,
Filipinas.
having mixed families. So they're very, very integrated also, because they raise the kids here. The kids are bilingual and binational. So it's a small community, but very, very well integrated.
Okay.
We don't hear from them, and this is a good sign. I mean, when they
Don't hear
come
from
to
you.
the embassy, sometimes it's
problems.
because there is a problem, but they are very, very happy here. Some of them live in other regions. We have a community in Cebu. We have a community in Davao. I know people also living in North Luzon, Cagayan de Oro, Palawan.
Yeah, I think I know. I have a friend who's married to an Italian. They own a restaurant in Davao.
So a Filipina married to an Italian
Yes.
living here in Davao.
Yes, they own a restaurant.
Yes,
and,
yes.
You know, so
In terms of accepting workers, Filipino workers, is Italy
Yeah, we have.
an open?
Yes, it is. We have our system is
System.
similar to many other countries. We have what we call a decreto flussi, which is a government decision which every year decides a quota of foreign workers who are legally allowed to come to Italy and work there. And of course, Filipinos are welcome to apply. And we, if I may say, of course, the presence of such a huge community of Filipinos in Italy helps, because of course the Filipinos who get the necessary documentation to come and work legally in Italy, they will not come to a foreign territory, so to speak, metaphorically, because there is a community which can help them to integrate.
The problem, since there's a lot of Filipinos wanting to work in Italy, there's a problem of some employment agencies taking advantage of
Yes.
them.
We know that. It has been a recent development. Of course, this is a matter which is very well taken care of your authorities. This is a Filipino matter because this is a crime committed against Filipino people. And so I understand, not I understand, I know that your DFA is working in close connection with the Italian authorities in Milan to inquire and to make investigation about what happened recently with this scam.
what job opportunities
Yes.
are there
I mean, it's
for Filipinos or for
I
foreigners?
mean, there are, of course, some sectors which are in demand of specialized workers. For instance, and it's no coincidence that this sector comes to our mind, because it's something the Filipinos are very good at, which is the hospital sector, nurses, because we know how famous you are everywhere for providing that kind of service. So definitely that it could be a good. Of course, I'm talking about specialized kind of work, because of course there is also traditionally the domestic workers, caretakers. Of course, also these Filipinos have a very good reputation for being very caring, very, how can I put it? They know how to take care of people, especially elderly people, which is a big social problem in our country. Allow me to say something that maybe I would have mentioned later in our interview, but this is probably the crucial aspect of the fact that really I love your country, I love your people, because you are happy people. You are happy people.
Always.
You are smiling and you are welcoming. You seem to be sincerely happy. about your life, even though sometimes life can be hard. We know that. Also in the more disadvantaged sectors of your society, people are generally happy.
Yes.
And I, after 2.5 years, I know the reasons eventually. Is this, and I always forget the Tagalog word for that, sorry. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but I will say it in English, this sense of community, helping each other, which is
Bayanihan.
Bayanihan. Bayanihan. It's, you maybe are not aware of that, but it's a secret of happiness, because you are never alone in this country. If something happens, if you need help,
just go to your
you
neighbor.
go to your neighbor, your relative, your friend, and they will help you. So even losing your job in Europe, it's a tragedy, because all of a sudden you are completely hopeless, helpless. Here it's a bad thing, but temporarily you'll find someone who helps you. A relative who maybe or give a loan, or just share with you, or if you need to go abroad to work, where do you leave where and with whom you leave your children? In Europe, it's unsolvable problem, because nobody will take care of your children. It's your concern, nobody else's. Here, you have relatives, friends, in-laws, and you can live. I know many foreign Filipino workers who have a family, and when I ask them, but what about your children? Oh no, but my mother-in-law, my cousin. Can you imagine in Europe asking your cousin to take care
of your kids?
He will answer, I have my own kids to take care of. So don't bother me, please.
And Ambassador, the happy pill that we have in the Philippines is something very, endemic to us. So it cannot be bought somewhere else.
Yes, absolutely.
Anywhere in other parts
endemic
of the country.
and infectious.
Yes. Well, actually, it is infection, because you won me over. Because I living here, I know that I can count on you if I need help.
Of course.
Not that I need material help, hopefully, but for some and anything you might need, the name of a doctor, or I don't know, someone who can give you a good advice. You know that there is always someone on the other line, on the other side of the line, of the phone line, helping you, wishing to help you. In Europe and in Italy, it's not always so easy. The loneliness that you feel, it can be something that really affects your life. If you have problems, you are on your own.
So with what you said, Ambassador, it makes us really proud to be
You
Filipinos.
should be.
Yeah.
You should be. You have probably not everyone realizes that, but from a foreign point of view, I say do not underestimate this great gift that you were giving, this
Bayanihan.
Bayanihan.
All right, so there'll be more interesting questions, Chito, to ask Ambassador, and we'll come back after a short break.
Yeah.
And this break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, # Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Conti's Bake Shop and Restaurant, delightfully yours. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. Infuse yourself with the knowledge needed to hone your business skills. Business Sense, a show where we engage with entrepreneurs, startups, and MSMEs in meaningful discussions on business growth and current marketing trends. Airs every Monday, 10 a.m., only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube. Tune in to Daily Tribune's show aimed at addressing the needs and problems of our OFWs from different corners of the globe. Hear about their plights and success stories every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube. Straight Talk, dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
All right,
Hi,
we're
Chief,
back.
we're
We're
back.
still with the ambassador, the Italian ambassador to the Philippines, His Excellency Marco Clemente.
Yeah.
All right,
You know,
so ambassador.
The ambassador went to Tondo to organize an opera.
The way you put it
Did you-
sounds weird, and it is weird. It's really something very unusual, but something
I would-
that.
So tell us about that,
Yes,
ambassador.
I
Very
expected
interesting.
your question because this is really something strange. Well, first of all, let me explain why the Italian embassy is so attached to the Tondo community. We have a religious order which is called the Canossians. They have always been very active for the benefit of the Tondo community. Actually, the first priest who set foot in the area was an Italian priest who's still there, very active, and he was really on his own. He was on his own. I'm talking about probably 50 years ago. There was nobody. And so with much passion and dedication, courage, he managed little by little to build a community, a parish. There is this beautiful, the San Pablo Apostol parish in Velasquez Street. I
Velasquez.
think it's in Tondo. And so it's now they have a beautiful church. They have a community activity with education for kids, and also some medical support for the needy ones. So it's really an important presence in the area. So being the Italians always, let's say, being important agents in these activities, and the Italian priest managed also to collect a lot of financial support from Italy, from charity in Italy. So the Italian flavor is very strong in that, and of course for the embassy it was only too normal to get involved. So we've always been in close cooperation, but this year also because, as I said before, it's my swan song. It's the last months in this country. I wanted to give, let's say, an extra boost to this cooperation. We organize a real festival of, we call it the Italian Embassy meets the youth in Tondo. So it's a series of 9 events of different nature for the benefit of these young people and their family in Tondo. So we started in November with a street food festival, and then we gave them a Christmas party, and we started free Italian courses. We gave them an Italian cuisine course, free of course for them. But probably the highlight of the festival will be this strange thing which is happening in March. We are bringing a fully staged opera to the kids, but not inviting them to see it in a theater, which would be the normal thing to do, but we actually are mounting the production there.
On the street.
Not in the street, but in the playing ground
The playground.
of the parish. But you can imagine the logistic challenges of such. You have to put an orchestra, the sound system, the lighting system, and there will be an action on stage with singers singing opera, not pop music. It's it's an interesting experiment.
Yeah,
Of
that's
course, we
something
do
to
it with
watch.
much pleasure because at the end of the day, it will be the kids' enjoyment. I hope they will enjoy. It's a comic opera, short, very funny, but very beautiful opera by
so it's
Puccini. Puccini, whose centennial we are celebrating or commemorating, better say, this year. And Gianni Schicchi, this is a comic opera, short, 1 hour comic opera by Puccini, and it's beautiful. I'm very curious. I'm very curious.
Can
to
we
see.
go watch?
Yes,
That's
it's
fun
only
to
by
see.
invitation, so I'm sorry to say to your viewers, if they are interested, it's not possible because this is an event only for the kids. But of course, as media representative, you are more than welcome to come and possibly cover it, because it's important that the public opinion knows about this for several reasons. First of all, because it's something for the benefit of kids who don't have many opportunities to enjoy
Yeah.
that sort of thing. I'm a true believer of the fact that since our life is complicated, not only opera, but in general art, beauty can help. I know what people could say, but opera doesn't put bread on your table. I tend to agree with that, of course. But if you are hungry, if your life is not the best that you could think of, but if you have some reasons for rejoicing anyway, to have some solace, intellectual, emotional, and art can help. Well, this is something which makes your life a little better. It's not the solution of your problem, but if you take that approach, you don't do anything because you don't have bread on your table, if I can use this metaphor. So I don't want to accept that philosophy. I think let's do things that can help these people to enjoy life, to realize that there is something beautiful to be, and maybe some of them might even like to know more about opera in particular, which is a beautiful form of art, very rarely performed in this country for obvious reasons. It's very expensive, but this is one reason. But the other reasons are, and this goes beyond Tondo and the people living there. It's about the fate, the destiny of classical music in this country, especially opera. Opera, as I said before, is very complicated, very expensive. No wonder that you don't see much opera in this
It's not
country.
an
Yes.
ordinary
No,
undertaking.
because it's expensive. Nobody and there isn't. Is there a public for opera? This is the big question mark. So maybe you could also be instrumental for starting a sort of campaign or a debate in your newspapers to ask yourself, do we need classical music? Is it important to promote that? Because if it is, events like this show that it can be done, but as long as you find sponsors and organizers. So this is why I say if you give some coverage to these events and you help the people to talk opera, and I say opera because opera is the pinnacle, is the summit of all arts, because it's all art combined. There is music, there is singing, there is scenery, there is action, there is acting. So it's all together. It's the more complex form of art. If you promote opera, you promote all other arts, and you also help your very talented artists to have the possibility to perform in their country. Otherwise, they will go somewhere else. Imagine a young singer who wants to sing opera. If you don't provide them the opportunity to perform here for a Filipino, what does he or she do? She quit or she goes somewhere else. She finds some career opportunity somewhere else, and this would be terrible, because in one generation time, if we don't pass the torch to our kids, there will be nobody who will do it on our behalf, because we will be gone sooner or later, unfortunately.
Correct.
But if you don't educate the younger generation about enjoying opera, it will be lost forever, and you don't get it back, unfortunately. You don't get it back, and this is very serious for your well-being. I mean, in general, I don't want to overestimate the importance of art. This is my opinion, that art is important, especially music, because music is the more
Uplifting.
yeah, but also it doesn't need translation, or everyone understands it. Music, it's something which speaks to your heart directly,
Have you
classical
watched an
music.
opera, Chito?
I did, but it's a local production.
Yeah, but it's okay, it's okay.
I only listen
Ibong
to
Adarna, I believe.
Andrea Bocelli
Yeah.
and Pavarotti.
Yeah, you should see the real thing, the real opera. So no, really, this Tondo
Yeah,
experiment, I like it to be considered an experiment. It's not just a musical event, but it's an experiment. I hope at the end of it we can say to our decision makers that there is a public for opera.
Yes,
So
why
it's
not?
worth investing on it.
Why
It's
not?
worth investing, and with your help as an important media protagonist, maybe you could start also a debate. For instance, one question: why the Philippines are the only countries without a minister or a department for culture? You are the only
Correct.
country in the region which
We don't have
you don't
such.
have what does it mean? This is important. Why wouldn't a department of culture help to promote culture in a more articulate way? I think
Although
it
we
would be
have
useful.
that National Commission
Yes,
for
but
Culture
not as
and
at a
Yeah.
cabinet level.
yes,
I
yes,
understand.
yes.
It should part of the government. It should participate to the discussion. For instance, tourism. I come from a country which bases its wealth and reputation on culture. Cultural tourism is an important part of our economy. Foreigners come in flocks to Italy to see opera. We have dozens of summer festival. I don't mention let's say the standard stable seasons in opera houses, but only in summer, from June to September, there are as many as 10 different places where you can go, enjoy the beaches, enjoy the rest of the, and then in the evening going to see an opera, open air, most of the time, outdoor, and it brings a lot of tourism. Why can't the Philippines do the same? You have the artists, you have you belong to the culture. You've had a tradition, zarzuelas, for instance, or even opera used to be popular at the beginning of last century. You used to have an opera house
It's just
in Manila City.
forgotten now.
But now it's forgotten.
We only have, theater plays.
Yes,
What
but it
we
brings
have right now.
money. This is what I would like to tell Secretary Frasco. If you had a secretary for culture, he or she could tell her, let's work together. Let's, for instance, create a festival, a summer festival of opera in El Nido, in Palawan. And you
Boracay.
can imagine how many foreign tourists from this area, of course, it's easier, from China or Korea or Japan, where they love opera. And this is why I'm proud to say that the embassy is doing a lot to support this. We are sponsoring any time there is an opera production, not very often, but when it happens, the embassy helps financially.
Perhaps a few of this audience, in Tondo, you know, the kids watching the opera, perhaps, you know, there would be, you know, 2 to 5 children who would be spark the interest of
Yes,
children to be
if someone
opera
of your
singers.
readers say, wow, what an interesting thing, let's do it again. And maybe this is what, you know, that's why it's important to cover those events. And not only the Tondo, but also there is the same production, the same opera, together with another short opera, together in a double bill format, will be performed in Ateneo, the Arete Theater, the week before. And that went on sale. It's a commercial enterprise by the Manila Symphony Orchestra. So also that production should deserve a promotional effort from the media. Then in May, hopefully, we will do another Puccini concert. So we are doing our best. But of course, it's the private and public sector, I think, it should be more active in this. Because I do believe there is a public. The only problem is that you have to motivate them. Yeah. It's a, how do you call it, egg and hen thing. No?
Chicken and egg.
Who starts it? The people who produces opera or the public who ask for that? I would say it's the only thing is to start from the egg. You have to produce opera, to risk doing something that maybe doesn't attract the attention immediately. But then you plant a seed, and then you sit and wait. But you have to start somehow.
It's very regretting. We're good in music, and
Filipinos are good singers.
That's why I
good
say
singers,
you're the perfect people for
the
opera.
ingredients are there.
I mean, I attended the rehearsal of the opera that they are producing, and of course, I knew that already. But seeing a rehearsal, I really realized how good you are, how good actress and actors you are, and singers, because opera is the two things together. You have to be an acting singer to perform opera. And you are good at both. You are good singers, but also you're very good actor, because you like to perform. Filipinos, unlike Italians, we like to perform. We like to have a public. No?
Every household in the Philippines, I believe, has a singer.
I know. But if you don't give an opportunity to perform, what is the destiny? It's a shame almost. We should do something. You should do something.
Perhaps the embassy organized the opera that you're holding in Tondo and another one in May would, you know, spark.
Maybe
Hopefully.
enough attention, bro, also from government.
Yes. But at the end of the day, these parks should be followed up by a more relevant effort, which means money from the private sector and from the public sector to produce operas.
That's
This
right.
is the big challenge. Let's see. I wish you the best. I will be following you from Italy.
All
I hope
right.
that next time we meet, you will have maybe an opera house built in Manila. Who knows?
Yes. All right. So, Chito.
Yeah.
So,
Coming back.
how is the economic and
Yes.
trade relations between both countries developing?
They're good, but there is a lot of space of improving that. I think it's the tyranny of distance here working. Unfortunately for Italian business, the distance could be a problem, and most importantly, the fact that we don't have a direct flight. This is maybe the first step to be taken, because if we had a direct flight, Manila, Rome, Manila, Milan, I'm sure that would have a very beneficial effect on the economic and trade relationship. Businessmen who wants to, let's say, penetrate the Asian market, they usually stop in Singapore or Kuala Lumpur, or where there is a direct flight. when they realize that to get to Manila, you have to stop over in Singapore, I say Singapore just as an example, and then this might be one of the reasons why you don't see as many economic operators as you would expect, being the Philippines what the Philippines are, a country where they speak English perfectly, so there is no language barrier. It's a Catholic country with common values. So there are so many reasons why the Philippines should be very attractive for Italian business. But the numbers are not what I expect them to be. So I've always wondered, I've been here for 2.5 years, and I've always wondered for all this time, why is it so? One, the reason I found is definitely the problem of distance and the problem of lack of direct transportation, a flight. This should be really crucial.
Isn't it because that airlines do not open direct flights Manila Italy or Italy to Manila? It's because the numbers are not encouraging.
But if you think that there are 200,000 Filipinos, and Filipinos love Italy, I know we are the seventh. We have of course, not all the visa applications are for tourism. We have a very important seafarers, let's say, applicants, because a lot of Filipinos work on Italian cruise ships. So some of the visas are for them, but many are for tourism. So judging from the numbers of visas that we grant, the demand for Italy is there. So if the tourists, and again, we are in this egg and hen situation. Of course, if there is a direct flight, people would go to Italy instead of, I don't know, other country, London or France. I suppose that you have also direct flight to Paris, I suppose. I don't know. Madrid, do you have a direct flight to Madrid? Maybe. I suppose so. Maybe not. I don't know. But of course, this would create also. So it's like all the business things. It's a matter of entrepreneurial
taking the risk.
I mean, of course, you have to take a risk, but I don't think it would be a problem to create a market for that.
There is already a market.
So this is for tourism. To get back to your question, yes, this is one of the reasons. Other reasons that is probably the Philippines are not so well known. We are doing our best. Your embassy in Rome is doing its best to promote Filipino. Maybe we should do more and more. We organize business forum. We had a delegation of Filipino trade department going to Italy last year or 2 years ago. So of course the work has been done, and it's a matter of time. This is for the, let's say, standard economic trade. Of course, we have super giant entities such as Fincantieri, Leonardo, which are these huge, let's say, firms dealing with ships, for instance, ship building and procurement in the defense industry. But these are huge presence. So. But I'm also interested in attracting the small, medium-sized enterprise entities, Italian entities, to attract them to the Philippines, because you are a 110 million people market with a great spending, let's say, propension. You are spending, oriented, but this is a good thing because you're becoming. But you are becoming, the technical word escapes me now. But of course, you are getting better. Your economy is getting better and better. So also your people is becoming better and better off. So this is good also for the market. So it's a very interesting and promising market. But still, there is a lot to do. I'm very optimistic, but probably I won't see during my term some significant, let's say, development. But definitely, I also planted this seed.
So do you see it in like 2 years?
Yes, I think so. Yes, I think so. Your economy is going so well that sooner or later, you know, more and more Italian businessmen realize that this is a very, very interesting market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have to take a break.
Yeah,
So,
and when we come back, we're going to ask the ambassador about, Italian support to the Philippines in areas of education, technology.
maybe defense.
Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Tune in to Daily Tribune's show aimed at addressing the needs and problems of our OFWs from different corners of the globe. Hear about their plights and success stories every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Infuse yourself with the knowledge needed to hone your business skills. Business Sense, a show where we engage with entrepreneurs, startups, and MSMEs in meaningful discussions on business growth and current marketing trends. Airs every Monday, 10 a.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
So we're back, Gigi. So,
All right.
yeah.
So more interesting questions for the ambassador. So are you in support of the free trade agreement between the European Union and the Philippines?
Yes, yes. Not only, of course, Italy. Personally, I'm always in support of strengthening the relationship between the European Union and the Philippines, but also Italy as founder member of the EU is strongly supporting. But I think it was also concretely, providing ideas how to better design the agreement. But definitely, yes, we are, and we are also optimistic that we are getting there. We are getting there, and this would help also. I should have mentioned that during your question before the break, that of course if there is a EU Philippines trade agreement with all the, let's say, opportunities that are given to the operator, that would have a beneficial effect also on our bilateral trade relationship. So definitely it's something that Italy very much support, and the visit of the President of the Commission on the line last year, it was a clear evidence that the relationship are going very, very well. Of course, I don't want to mingle with the EU ambassador's job here. It's his job, but definitely as a founder member of the EU, at that time it wasn't called like that, but we were one of the six countries which had this very far-reaching idea of instead of making war each against the other, to be close and to work for the benefit of our people and our nation. So as founder member, of course, we feel a special responsibility also in this regard. Everything concerning the relationship between the Union and the Philippines concerns Italy also.
Yeah, being a member of the EU,
with a
of course.
founding member.
Yeah.
Founding member.
So how does Italy support the Philippines in terms of education?
Well, we apart from all the cultural events which we organize, which we consider also from the educational point of view, because when you organize, again, an opera, we spoke extensively about that, but we also organize movie festival, and language, Italian language courses in universities or schools or provided by associations. We also consider those initiatives also from an educational point of view. So in this regard, I think that the Italian embassy should be proud of what it has done and what it's planning for.
Are there
There are also some scholarships available. I was
Yeah.
getting that. I saw that arriving. We have, of course, there are procedures to be followed. I recommend that those of your viewers who are interested in knowing more, everything is available in the internet site of the embassy. We have scholarship, and every year some of them are given, and we have a procedure of a selection. And then, but I've met many Filipinos and Filipina young people who went to Italy to study singing, for instance, singing of art, or Italian language teaching. They want to become teachers themselves, so they go to Italy to learn how to teach Italians to the Filipinos when they get back.
How about Italian support to the Philippines in terms of technology and sustainable development?
Well, we fortunate for development. Fortunately, the Filipinos are not the recipient of our cooperation programs anymore, because you are not considered a country which need it. Fortunately for you, because
Because of the economic development.
exactly you've been upgraded to. We've had some cooperation.
So that's a compliment already.
This is, in my view, maybe some governors might not share the same opinion because they would like to be recipient of some more help. Of course, I'm thinking of the regions where we used to have cooperation programs, for instance, in Mindanao. We used to have in Jensen, for instance. I visited those programs, but they have been closed. They were all programs that we follow until their completion. But then, again, fortunately for you, as a nation in general, not for the particular region, you're not considered possible recipient because you're not underdeveloped country anymore.
So we're not indigents anymore.
You're not in the indictment, but I think it's true that you must be very proud and very grateful to your also authorities for helping the country to get out of the underdevelopment situation. If you ever were in, definitely you were part of the cooperation programs in Italy until the recent past, but now not anymore. You mentioned technology. This is also, there is a lot of possible room for improving that. There are some cooperation. There is some cooperation between universities, but definitely a lot can be done on that. A lot can be done. Again, this is also, it's also connected to this tyranny of distance. No, I mentioned before. When a university in Italy wants to cooperate with another university, when it's so far, everything becomes so difficult. Sending a delegation, receiving a delegation, it involves costs, it involves logistical, let's say, efforts. And sometimes it is an obstacle which pull the brake,
in everything.
So that's the tyranny of distance, Chito. Chito, perhaps you could ask the ambassador.
I'm thinking about trade. Is it also part of that tyranny of distance?
Yeah, as I said before, yes, of course.
What's the biggest product that the Philippines export to Italy?
Well, raw material, I understand. Yeah. This is
Agricultural.
Agriculture, yes. But again, you know, to export agricultural products when you are 10,000 kilometers away is not the easiest thing to do. But having said that, I remember during this trade delegation from the trade department in 2022, the business forum that we helped to organize, the Italian embassy helped to organize in Italy, in northern Italy, was about your food product. I remember that. It was particularly devoted to what you can offer as far as food and beverage, but especially food is concerned. In fact, there was also an undersecretary for agriculture, I remember, in the delegation, because they wanted to give this particular focus on the agricultural product. Because of course you have products which are not very well known, but they're very interesting for us. Exotic food, exotic fruit, so wonderful fruit.
Mangoes.
You know, mangoes. Your mangoes.
Bananas.
Yes, but bananas. Yeah, but mangoes is something that, for instance, it's a taste which is very exotic for
Durian.
Italian. Durian. Yeah, probably durian smells awful. So I wouldn't like to be on the same plane with the durian. Yeah.
Ambassador,
they
go ahead.
learn to package.
Yeah, no, I'm joking, of course.
Ambassador, let me ask you. I always ask this with diplomats that I meet. What are the challenges that you face as in your role as an ambassador, and how do you overcome it?
No, I don't see any particular challenge here. I've had challenges in other countries, perhaps, but not here.
I mean, in general.
In general, in my
As
career.
the challenges of
Yeah.
an ambassador.
Well, definitely adjusting to a different culture. This is something that you always have to, because there is something that you take it for granted that maybe it's normal for you, but it's not normal for others. So you have always to be very, very careful when you arrive in a new country to learn as much as possible about the foreign country's custom. Of course, for the Philippines is practically a second home for Italians, so there is no particular provisos, no particular adjustment, no. But in other countries, for instance, I might I don't know, South Africa. Sometimes for a white diplomat, you have to be careful not to sound patronizing. There are small and big things, but after 40 years, I learned a lesson. So I'm always very careful. Now, when you relate to yourself with other people, to understand. And the same thing we ask from my hosts. Understand that we Italians are different. Understand that, for instance, one thing which has always struck me, but maybe I'm wrong. I tend to think that for Asians in general, you try to avoid confrontation. You don't like confrontation.
Well,
You are no.
there might
You
be
don't
some
like to.
truth about
So you
that.
prefer not to answer rather to say no. This is a very interesting. This is something which in Europe is completely different. We take no for an answer, but we consider not answering unpolite. So if I send you a message, an email, asking you, are you interested in coming to... I sometimes have the feeling that Asians fear to offend you to say no, and so they
they don't-
disappear.
Uh-huh.
They ghost you. This is something this is something that in Europe we consider it rather
Not
unpolite.
very.
It's better to say, no problem, we can take no for answer, but please give that answer to us. This is something that
That's true.
this is something that you should know about our culture, because you may think, oh, maybe the ambassador would like to avoid being told no. Not at all. It's quite the contrary. I would like to have an answer, whatever, but please write to me, don't disappear.
Okay. All right. So that's the distinct. That's a distinct.
But weren't you
character.
aware of that? Have you
Actually,
ever thought of-
actually, I was supposed to ask you, but then you already said it.
No,
No,
but
no.
the fact that for a European, it's better to get a no rather than a non-answer.
We're not very
You-
aware.
Yeah, we're
This
not.
is-
Yeah,
I mean,
know.
this is the first time.
I
mean,
know,
coming from.
That's why. No, I thought so because if you were aware, you would answer because you don't like to be unpolite.
Yeah.
But for Europeans, not receiving an answer is not consider a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
This is my personal opinion. Maybe other Europeans might differ from my opinion, but
But,
in my opinion,
But I'll
is-
take note of that, Ambassador. When dealing with Europeans, so
And Americans.
set aside that that attitude of instead of saying no,
say no. Feel free. I mean, we don't get offended.
because in the Philippines, I mean, if silence is taken as a no.
Bravo.
Yeah.
This is the difference. For us, it's not
Yes.
so. It's not so. We still need to know. What do you think? Because silence could be a yes also. Who knows? I would like to be sure. Not to have a misunderstanding. Because sometimes in important things, a misunderstanding can be dangerous. Because if you'd answer to me and you consider that was considered a no by me, but are you sure? I might consider it's a maybe. It's that wait for my answer. Don't do anything. Just wait. This is what we do. When I ask a Filipino or an Asian interlocutor to do something concrete, I need to, I don't know, publish this article. Would you agree to mention your name? And then I wait for an answer. Otherwise, I cannot proceed. And instead of saying no, my interlocutor disappears. And I'm stuck because I don't know what to do. Should I proceed anyway, taking that silence for a no? And what if I misunderstood? What if he did want his name to be mentioned, but he just didn't have the time to answer? That's the difference. But this is just one of an example.
So let's
but
make
there
it
are
as a
many.
policy, Chito. All right. So, Ambassador, you are left with before retirement with a few months. So that's going to be in June. So I
June,
guess that's
so-
going to be 4 months.
4 months.
As an ambassador in the Philippines, of course, as part of Italian diplomatic corps. So what are your goals and priorities during your term as ambassador in the Philippines?
Well, I am fortunate that my retirement coincides with the celebration of the Italian National Day, which is at the beginning of June. So we are planning a lot of events because this year, being my last celebration of my career, I want it to be memorable. So I decided, I hope I will not repent, I will not regret that because it's a huge effort. But we want to do a series of events. So it won't only be the reception, the typical diplomatic reception, but we will have that concert I mentioned before in May. We will have a sport event, which could be an important one, but we're still working on that. But we are expecting important people from Italy. It's about football.
Soccer.
I have to soccer. Thank you. Even we Europeans, that's another cultural difference. We always mention that as football.
Football.
For us, football is that football. There is no other football. The American ambassador might resent that. For us, football is football. But in order to avoid any misunderstanding, let's call it soccer.
Okay.
So it will be about soccer, which is another important feature of Italian culture. Of course, we are famous for a lot of things, but also our football is rather important part of our culture, and we are very good at that. So I would like also to do something. And I see an interesting parallel with the situation with opera in this country. Also football, I think, needs to be promoted in this country. Because one thing I've always wondered is why football is not your national sport. You are perfect. Believe me, you are perfect for this sport. Because you are strong-built, rather short.
And we
You're
walk
not,
a lot.
and you know, and so why you are not good at football?
Blame the Americans.
Because I know. Because of course of basketball. And
It's an American.
I accept that it's part of your history, but since most of the Asian countries are crazy about
Oh, yeah.
football, the Koreans and the
I have a reason why. I mean, it's just a guess.
please.
Because, you know, a basketball can, you know, you can just use a little space. One half court, you can do that.
Yeah, but
I
you
mean,
have a lot of space.
even in the barangays, of course, they
But you
just
have
do
a
it for
lot of
exercise.
space.
But for a football, it has to be, you know, one field, you know, with all the bases covered with
You know,
you
but
know.
you have plenty of football pitches in Manila. I've seen them.
I mean, in urban areas. That's why people, you know. I
Yeah,
mean,
but you
even
can
in the-
play anywhere. That's why football is so popular in the world, because you don't need the formal. You can play. You can play
like-
football on a you know, in Brazil they
Yeah.
play in the slums in the street. No, I'm sorry, this is not
It's
a good.
ju- it's
no, I'm-
just a guess.
no, I'm joking. Another reason they gave to me it's weather. They say
too
since
hot.
the weather is so we tend to prefer indoor sport. But I'm asking again, Indonesian have the same weather, but football is more popular there. Malaysia, they have the same weather. Why? So could be part of the explanation, but it's not the entire. So this gives me some optimism about the possibility to do it more. I'm working with the federation, so we will try to organize this event, having some special guests from Italy. And it could be also a nice way to, we want to organize a friendly game between your national team, maybe under 19, the national team, with some non-Filipino team assembled by the embassy with Italians, Europeans, and just to do.
Club.
Yeah, there are not very many, but of course they will wear the Italian jersey, and so there will be a friendly game, Philippines versus Italy, but Italian team will be composed of many other nationalities, and so this could be also. So we work on that. We hope to have a trade, economic event also to promote Italian products. And what else we are planning? We are planning also, let's say, a major media, let's say, strategy, and I hope that I can count on your help also to also promote the image of Italy during maybe the second semester of the year. So Italy is permanently on the main media pages, or on paper or online. So because the bottom line is, if you do things and the people don't know, most of your efforts are lost, because
Yes.
nobody would realize that you did that. If you have the media support for that, and that helps a lot, and it gives also the motivation for doing more and more, because if in Rome they know that what I do, what the embassy does, is recognized, is acknowledged, is appreciated, of course it will be easier to continue to ask for my authorities' support, financially, logistically. It's a sort of a virtuous circle that you can create with a good cooperation between the embassy and the media.
Maybe the starting point would be to connect Italy and the Philippines to
Yeah.
redirect.
Yes,
I
that's
like
right.
that you say that because
That's right.
again,
That's
I
right.
think, you know, many media delegation we trip we could organize if we had also, no, we could have journalists to go to Italy, maybe to, and vice versa.
So is the tyranny of distance,
Distance again.
according to the ambassador.
Well, this expression I learned in Australia.
Yeah.
This is what they say.
I also learned it now. All right. So
All would be receptive to that. There's a lot of Filipinos
I
there.
know.
yeah,
in
yeah,
Italy.
yeah. Because the ambassador says it's less than almost 200,000. All right. So it's a very interesting discussion,
Thank you.
ambassador, and we'd like to ask for parting words.
Yeah.
Well, the parting words are, first of all, thank you for having me.
Perhaps with the parting words, you could, give our viewers, a bit of information of how to apply for an Italian visa.
Well, the information is very easy. Go to the internet site because the requirements are very, very easy, simple. It's a list of requirements which, of course, we share with other Schengen countries. So I'm sure your viewers know, or some of your viewers know them already because they have applied in the past. But it's not a difficult procedure. Not the problem, but the thing that what it is asked, it must be produced. This is the thing. If you think that what it's asked you can get, a visa, it's not only easy, but it's for us is a pleasure. This is a message that I always forward. For us to have Filipino visitors, tourists, it's a pleasure. It's also convenient for us because you bring money and you do shopping, so it's you bring wealth, and it improves also the bilateral relationship because you create friendship. And so don't think that we are defending ourselves. We are not a fortress. On the contrary, we are open to accept. But in exchange, of course, we ask for your cooperation and try to collect all the documentation as correct as possible. And again, the list of requirements are very, very easy and self-explaining. We are not asking the moon. Really,
the
very
stars.
simple requirement, but they must be met. They must be met because there is always, of course, the attention from our authorities as far as the risk of illegal immigration is very high. You know that.
How long does it take for a Filipino to get
A few
this
days.
visa? A few
Once he gets to our office, because your viewers know very well that there is a first phase which escapes the embassy's, let's say, control or responsibility,
it's
which is the
outsourced.
outsourcing. So they have to go to the outsourcing office. We have a new one, a very welcoming one, beautiful, in McKinley. The outsource open because we asked them to. Also offices in Cebu, in Davao, in Batangas City. So people who don't reside in Metro Manila, they have also the opportunity, if they live in Davao and Cebu, to go to the outsourcing there.
Is it online, ambassador?
No, you have to go.
Okay, so it's
No, you have to go.
a
on
face-to-face.
You have to take an appointment, but there is also what they call VIP treatment. So just study the offer they give to, because for instance, people who don't have time, or for instance, they miss the appointment for reasons which are not, and then they can get, let's say, for an extra fee, and just they can have a special appointment. You know? So these are also extra services that these outsourcers provide, which makes the applicant's life, we hope, a little easier. But from my side, the message I want to convey is that we are not a fortress. We are welcoming you. We are welcome. To issue a visa is a pleasure for us because, again, it brings people to Italy, which is, I think we would like to see a lot of Filipinos come. But according to the Schengen rules, which are, let's say, easy, not very complicated, but strict. So you cannot, let's say, how can I put?
Lie.
Not lie, but to try to find compromise. No, the rules are clear and must be
Yeah,
followed.
they cannot play around.
Play around, it's maybe a too strong a word, but trying to find a way
To navigate.
yeah, to navigate, exactly.
Okay. All right. So do you have more other parting words, Ambassador,
No,
before
of course,
we?
as I said before, thanking you for having me, and thanking the Philippines for being so generous and welcoming to me and my family. We will certainly keep this country in a special place of our heart, and I hope that we can. Not I hope. I'm sure we will come back because we also left behind a lot of friends and people that we would like to meet again here, possibly, or in Italy, especially if there is a direct flight. It would be.
Yes. So we
You're always welcome.
Thank you very
So
much.
Ambassador.
thank you, Ambassador. There we have it from the Ambassador himself, His Excellency Marco Clemente. And thank you for a very engaging and
Thank you very
enlightening
much.
discussion.
Thank you.
So, G, thank you, mga katribu. This is again tune in again next Wednesday for another episode of Straight Talk. I'm Chito Lozada.
And once again, I'm Gigie Arcilla. Watch Straight Talk Live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube. Until next
Until next
episode.
week.
Thank you, Ambassador.